Le troisième épisode.
I plummeted down through that weird sky towards a great turbulent ocean that roared and swelled. A ferocious sea that offered no hope of survival. I thought of home and wept, unaware that in an instant my fortunes would be changed by an event so bizarre I almost hesitate to tell you. And it happened like this.
A giant whale?
It was huge, General.
Oui, à la fin, il va se faire interner.
Swallowed by a giant whale.
Yes, General.
You look remarkably well for a man who was swallowed by a whale.
I am blessed with a strong constitution, General.
And I assume you are now going to tell me how you managed to escape from the belly of this giant whale.
Naturally, General. And I must say, it really was a fascinating glimpse into the interior life of one of our world's most magnificent beasts. I consider myself a wiser man after this experience.
Ça craint. Là, les bactéries, quoi.
It was an extraordinary place, General. I could perhaps deliver a lecture on the subject to Moscow University's Zoological Society, if you like. I only want to help.
The Moscow University Zoological Society has, I suspect, better things to do than listen to the ramblings of a man who claims he was swallowed by
c'est
a
tout mou.
whale.
It is a shame, General. People can be so closed-minded.
I, on the other hand, had little choice but to hear you out. For your own sake, Ivan Ivanovich, I must urge you to be brief.
Absolutely, General. I will tell you directly of my miraculous escape from the belly of the whale. You simply won't believe what happened next.
That is becoming a dangerously overused phrase, comrade.
Ouah! Oh, il l'a pas touché.
And so I found myself deep within the whale's organs. A strangely beautiful place. A sort of fleshy wonderland. A glade of polyps and globules. A landscape as awe-inspiring in its way as the forests and mountains of Altai. Oh, my home, General, that I yearned and longed for and only hoped, as I hope now, that I might one day see again.
I think we're all longing for home at this point.
Oh, with warm slippers, a mug of steaming Spitzin, and a roaring fire. Not far from home, trapped inside a monstrous fish with only the strange and evil-looking worms that infested its gut for company.
Écoute, tu vas commencer le jeu d'horreur.
Dedication to one's country and mission to keep one from falling into despair. But no, General, I could not. I had to escape.
Ouais, bah après on partira sur l'autre jeu d'horreur, pas celui-là, mais pas celui que je vous ai fait montrer.
And home.
flotte dans l'eau. Dans l'acide.
Worms, you say, living inside the whale.
Oh, they were horrid things, those worms, General. And most unwelcome, I would say. Parasites. And I had no idea just how rampant their infestation was, nor of the tremendous sizes they could grow to. At that point, my thoughts were only
Ça marche
for
si
the
le verre à demain.
and I had a plan.
I'm sure you did.
Ah, je saute moi.
These worms, they made your Nivirayatnin whale sick.
Wherever they attached themselves, the flesh began to turn gray and die. It was a truly distressing sight. And I resolved myself to assist the whale by removing the leeches wherever I could find them during my escape. In my mind, it was a simple plan, General. I would climb up through the whale's throat into its mouth, then wait
il
until
va
it
sortir par
opened
là.
it to feed and swim out.
Ah, yes. Brilliant, Ivan Ivanovich. Only one or two minor flaws with it.
Ah, je peux tromper le bouton aussi.
Did it not occur to you that the whale would likely be deep
Il va pas passer.
underwater when it ate?
Вы правы, General, but I am a strong swimmer. As a child, my parents would take us to
Après, il
holiday
voulait pas
near
passer.
Irkutsk, where we took constitutionals in the waters of Lake
Je suis pas assez
Baikal.
forcé peut-être.
In fact, my mother often called me her malenький морской котик.
Là. C'est le moment de courir. Hein.
A giant
Oh, ça
worm
va.
for a giant whale, huh?
At the risk of repeating myself, it was huge, General.
Moscow University Zoological Society may be interested after all. Let us take a moment, Ivan Ivanovich. Your ridiculous plan to escape through the mouth of the whale failing, you would now have me believe you had embarked on some misguided crusade to free it of the worm infestation. To what end, exactly?
When one suffers, we all suffer, General.
Comment ça?
Your ideological commitment is admirable, comrade, but...
I concluded that if I could find the root of the infestation and neutralize it, the whale could mount a spirited counterattack against the worms.
Tchou.
And then, victorious, the whale would surface to expel the remaining poisonous muck and slime from its body. And at that point, I could escape through the nearest convenient orifice. In this case, most likely the blowhole.
That is the most revolting thing I've ever heard.
General, we are Russians. We have withstood the sheer force of nature and history and emerged triumphant. An expedition through the nasal sphincter of a gargantuan whale is nothing to us. And then, victorious, the whale would surface to expel the remaining poisonous muck and slime from its body. And at that point, I could escape through the nearest convenient orifice. In this case, most likely the blowhole.
That is the most revolting thing I've ever heard.
General, we are Russians. We have withstood the sheer force of nature and history and emerged triumphant. An expedition through the nasal sphincter of a gargantuan whale is nothing to us.
Là, je me mets au bord, je glisse. Il y a des fumiers.
And then, victorious, the whale
Attends,
would
y a pas où, là?
surface to expel the
Je meurs d'en
remaining
haut, mais là...
poisonous muck and slime from its body. And at
Okay.
that point, I could escape through the nearest convenient orifice. In this case, most likely the blowhole.
That is the most revolting thing I've ever heard.
General, we are Russians. We have withstood the sheer force of nature and history and emerged triumphant. An expedition through the nasal sphincter of a gargantuan whale is nothing to us.
Ah putain, mais c'est parce que c'est de la lave. De la lave, de l'acide en dessous. J'ai pas pisté. C'était ça qui me tuait. Ah putain, je recommence, fait chier.
And at that point, I could escape through the nearest convenient orifice. In this case, most likely the blowhole.
That is the most revolting thing I've ever heard.
General, we are Russians. We have
C'est pas du tout la hauteur, hein.
of nature and history and emerged triumphant. An expedition through the nasal sphincter of a gargantuan whale is nothing.
Putain, j'ai pas y crevé. En fait, il donne un petit élan quand il démarre. Je croyais pas celle-là.
I suppose you would have me believe
Un ver
that the
solitaire.
whale was grateful to you.
Oh, well, General, that would be presumptuous. I doubt it was even aware of my presence. But I had more immediate problems. For if the whale might have been relieved by my actions, the worms were enraged.
Worms do
Furious.
worms
Incandescent.
do not feel
Violently indignant.
emotions.
Demented, General. Deranged.
Enough!
C'est tout le moment de courir là.
Where is little Orpheus? Where is my bomb? Unless you are trying to dull me the whale.
Ah, j'ai pas glissé.
No, it did not, General. That would be a...
Where is little Orpheus? Where is my bomb? Unless you are trying to dull me, the whale swallowed that as well.
No, it did not, General. That would be absurd.
No, Ivan Ivanovich, you are absurd. Your story is absurd. This whole ridiculous
Putain.
fairy tale is absurd.
Le gars, tu le vois pas quand il s'approche du... Je crois que t'as assez de place, mais t'as pas assez de place. Il faut le faire vraiment bien avant.
Where is little Orpheus? Where is my bomb? Unless you are trying to dull me, the whale swallowed that as well.
No, it did not, General. That would be absurd.
No, Ivan Ivanovich, you are absurd. Your story is absurd. This whole
Ah, je l'ai fait
ridiculous
trop tôt.
fairy tale is absurd.
Tu vois là la distance. Faut que je passe entre les deux.
Where is little
Cours,
Orpheus?
cours, malheureux.
Where is my bomb? Unless you are trying to dull me, the whale swallowed that as well.
No, it did not, General. That would be absurd.
No, Ivan Ivanovich, you are absurd. Your story is absurd. This whole ridiculous fairy tale is absurd.
Brave yet foolhardy hero escape the furious worm? Will he be doomed to spend his days trapped
Ça
in the
dirait trop un verre de
immense of a
sable.
bad-tempered cetacean? Where is the whale swimming to in such a rush? And what will it do when it gets there? Is the general about to lose his temper and order the cosmonaut shot? All of these questions and more must surely be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Du coup, épisode suivante. Je sais pas si je vais les faire. Ils auraient dû le mettre au début, ça. Chiant parce que t'es obligé de le refaire. Non, on va les faire normal et puis c'est tout. Hein.
Flew from the whale's blowhole like a supersonic jet. And below me the ocean became a sheltered bay studded with wild shapes. You will be amazed as my epic journey unfolds. For here, it was about to take a most unexpected turn. And it happened like this.
Neige. Hop là, excuse, j'étais en train de regarder un truc. Le jeu est quand même plaisant à jouer. Hein. Bon, y a rien de difficile, mais juste voyager comme ça et tout, se promener. Franchement, une idée assez. 2-3 parcours et tout.
It was a beautiful but deadly wasteland. Freezing cold, brutally chilling. Enough to kill a man in hours.
Yet here you are.
Indeed, General. An impoverished childhood playing in the streets of Omsk during those bitter winters had made me hardy.
I thought you said you grew up in Altai.
Ah, General, the life of a poor toy maker's family. We had to move from place to place just to find work.
Quoi déjà, des éléphants de mer, non? Je sais plus le nom. Non, c'est pas ça, des éléphants de mer. Je sais plus. Puis... ma gueule en plus. Je peux faire. C'est quoi avec ça? Il va couler. Elle est deg. On va l'assommer? Non. Oh putain! Il est parti sur la lune l'autre. Maintenant je peux passer. J'allais sauter mais... Oh, j'étais pas sûr du saut. Du bouton. Il s'éclate. Des corps de mammouth?
Sonikov land, eh? Of course, Sonikov himself reported nothing more than a bluish fog on the horizon. Your island may be nothing more than the product of overactive imaginations.
General, consider this. Imagine taking a simple peasant, a pig shepherd, for
C'est dans
example,
l'autre sens.
and telling him one day humans would fly around the earth beyond the sky. He would say you were stark raving mad, Saldaphone, a ridiculous Kazyol Baradati, a buffoon stuffed into a military uniform, a pridurak, a chuchela tuparile.
This peasant of yours had better watch his mouth if he doesn't want to spend his holidays in Solovyetsky. Perhaps you should return to your story.
Je sais pas pourquoi j'allais me servir de l'autre barre. Celle d'en haut, je sais pas si elle aurait marché. Aïe!
There in the cliff, I could not
Là
believe
tu
it.
passes à travers les planches
A
à l'aise.
hairy elephant, trapped and frozen in the ice.
A mammoth!
No, General, a hairy elephant. Who would think such a thing could be?
J'ai pas cru à celle-là.
I trudged onwards through the blizzard, one foot grimly in front of the other, blinded by the snow, my nose becoming quite blue. My thoughts of home crushed under the weight of the plummeting temperature.
I am bored, Ivan Ivanovich, and sick to my teeth of listening to this rubbish. Let us speak plainly now. You will tell me where my bomb is, or I will have you shot.
I am just getting to that, General.
Shot! Comrade Primal! Shot with real bullets, fired from a real gun, not some ludicrous Bultavia about lost cities and dinosaurs and mink and mammoths.
It was a hairy elephant.
No! I will not tolerate any more! Where is the bomb, Ivan Ivanovich? Where is little Orpheus?
It was right there.
What?
It was there. At least I realized it must be.
Where?
There?
On Sonicov land?
Yes, General. Because as the storm began to clear, I realized with a strange excitement and trepidation that I was not alone on Sonicov land.
Nous voilà à l'abri.
Wait. Go back. You say these lifeboats came from Zaria.
Zarya returned home, but not with all of her crew. And here were the missing lifeboats, trapped in the ice for all of these years. And it could only mean one thing.
That you are continuing to have a shot on my...
Avec la lecture, tu te fais piéger comme ça.
Baron Edward von Toll. Of course, I remember reading about his tragic expedition at school. We were taught he had died a hero's death out on the icy wastes, searching for Sonicov land. Yet what if, in doing so, he had sailed accidentally into the interior, deep below the crust of the world? A fellow citizen of the surface. I had to try and find him.
On va essayer de le retrouver, pas de problème. On va pouvoir aller sous l'eau. Oh! Non, c'est le casque pour contrôler.
A dead explorer stole my
Not dead, General, but quite insane. Perhaps it was the loss of the arm or the leg, or the long years in isolation. But Toll was clearly mad.
You should have got along perfectly then.
Oh, how I wish we had. But look, whatever Toll's intention with little Orpheus was, I had no time to consider it. I was in mortal peril once more.
Pas très solide le matos. L'orbe boréale. Dehors là.
You
Ouais.
believe that Toll had somehow enslaved the Mienkiv and bent them to his will?
I do, General. It was obvious. Why else would they serve him? And how else could they be so different from their freed comrades? These odd helmets they wore, it was the science of our times. No doubt about it. Although fused with some strange crystal technology I could not recognize. To be honest with you, it didn't seem appropriate to stop and ask them.
J'ai peur qu'il me fasse un coup de traite. Retourne un moment comme ça. Il va se retourner lui. T'en retourne pas hein. Bon ça va, ils sont gentils avec nous.
This Toll, you say he was an explorer?
Yes, General, he was. He vanished some 60 years ago. I remember the story well.
And you say he stole little Orpheus?
To get home, General. To get home. I think he must have thought he could use the atomic bomb to blast his way back to the surface.
Brilliant, Ivan Ivanovich! And you expect me to believe that a 100-year-old madman not only survived below the Earth's crust, but enslaved his Mienkiv, explored the lost worlds, and discovered the secrets of atomic power, all by himself?
A Tsarist general. An imperialist. No doubt harking back to the terrible days before the Great Revolution. And Estonian.
Estonia.
Estonian, General.
They are wily people.
Je pense que tu fais hein, de jouer et puis de lire en même temps, mais voilà, c'est calme, hein, ça va. Pas compris là. Ah merde, j'avais pas vu la corde.
The slave mines stretched away into the distance. And I sometimes wondered if I would ever find my way out. But I never gave up, General.
Regardez, ils avaient pas de trou dans le plancher parce que...
You are a hero, Ivan Ivanovich.
No, General. No. I am no hero. I am a simple toymaker's son from Tomsk.
Omsk.
General?
Omsk. You said Tomsk.
I said Omsk.
You said Tomsk.
General, I think I am well aware of the city of my birth.
Perhaps all the moving around as a child confused you.
Ah, j'aurais dit descendre, mais on monte. Oh putain, et lui? Je me demandais qu'est-ce qui m'a aveuglé. Bizarre qu'il n'y en a pas un qui se retourne. Hein. On a un petit problème. Oh là! Tu te mets bien en dessous, on dirait qu'on peut. Il y a un angle mort énorme. Bon, j'espère que c'est pas par là, par contre. On va le tester par là. Attends-moi et l'autre. C'est le moment de courir, c'est ça? On peut sauter.
On we flew across the deserted, frozen plateau. I was single-minded in my pursuit, dogged in my determination.
Ninja!
I would take back little Orpheus
toi,
and prevent Toll from detonating the bomb.
Ah, you are as humble as ever, Tavares.
Well, General, you are a great military leader, a great strategist, whereas I am simply the humble son of a watch toy.
Je sais pas si on est obligé de sauter, mais je saute quand même.
And driven by patriotic fever, with no regard for my own safety, I
Fais gaffe, toi.
rushed blindly on.
Ah, j'ai pas sauté. Oh, ça a passé là. Ok, là c'est une mine.
Will our courageous yet unfortunate hero drown in the depths of an inhospitable frozen sea? Will he thaw out in time to prevent Tull from detonating the bomb? Will the general holiday in Omsk next year? Or Tomsk? Or perhaps both? What exactly is the difference between a mammoth and a hairy elephant? All of these questions and more should almost certainly be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Débarre. Bon, le prochain épisode, ça sera dans l'eau. On va laisser le générique et on va se terminer là. Arrêtez là, quoi. Je me fais un café, on continue.